Hey guys, and welcome back to Gabbing with Jessa. Today's video, I'm going to be doing a tag video. I haven't done one of these in a while, but I've been seeing a lot more of them, a lot of different kinds, a lot of different ones based off of things that I like. And I thought it would just be a lot of fun to talk about some of the books I've read recently, compare them to some of the other things that I love. And today's video, I am so excited. This is going to be an Avatar: The Last Airbender book tag. This is based off of the TV show that is now on Netflix that I grew up loving, that I am loving again rewatching it, and I'm so happy that so many more people are getting to experience it and watch it. So this tag, I don't know who the original creator is, but I saw it on the Reads with Kesara YouTube channel, so I'm going to link her channel down below so you can check out her channel and her video as well. So let's get into the prompts. There's going to be 4 different prompts based on the 4 elements: water, earth, air, fire, and then there's going to be 3 questions per element. So I have my notebook here with all the questions, and we're going to start off with the water tribe. And the first one for the water tribe is Katara and Sokka, book with a best sibling relationship. For this, I'm going to give it to Alex and Eliza by Melissa De La Cruz. This is a historical retelling based off of the Hamilton play, but also the real-life events that happened with Alexander Hamilton and Eliza Schuyler. I'm going to give it to this book because of the Schuyler sisters. We see them in the musical Hamilton, how much they care for each other, how much they love each other, and that definitely shows in this book by Melissa De La Cruz as well. It is historical fiction, so it is based off of real events, but not everything is like, you know, historically accurate to the minute of how it all happened. But I loved this book. I'm currently reading the second one right now, Love and War, which I'm going to be finishing up soon. And this first book definitely just showed the great relationship that these sisters have with each other. And yes, they argue and fight, and they have differences in opinions when it comes to certain things, but it's still a great book about sisters. The next prompt is UA, favorite star-crossed lovers. And I decided to take this on a little bit of a different direction because I'm going to give it to The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. Now, without giving too much away, this book is about 18-year-old President Snow before he is president, when he is mentoring a District 13 girl from the Hunger Games, or for the Hunger Games. And the romance that's in this, the main one that's focused on, I know a lot of people have debates on whether or not it is a real romance. I do have a complete review on this book, so you can check that out. I'll have that linked. And I thought for star-crossed lovers, I wanted to take it in the direction of the romance that this is in because of how crazy it is and how polarizing it is, how differencing of opinions that it is. I don't know. This was the first book that popped in my head when I thought about star-crossed lovers. And I mean, like I said, I have my review on it so you can see what I thought about the relationship in the book. But this book just called to me when I heard that prompt. The final prompt for the Water Tribe is Bloodbending, a book with a disturbing or unsettling concept. And again, I kind of took this in a different way because I'm going to give it to The Gifted School by Bruce Holsinger. This is a book about these group of parents who push their children to be the best, and now that there's this new gifted school that's going to be opening up within their district, within their town, they're pushing their kids to the extreme. And these are young kids. These aren't like high schoolers trying to compete for, you know, good college recommendations or anything like that. These are like children. I don't really remember what age, but I know that they're like elementary, middle school age. I believe at least around 10 years old. And when parents push their kids to the ultimate extreme where they have to be the best in everything, not just the best for themselves, but the top of the class, the top of everything, the most athletic, the smartest, the most creative, or anything like that, that just doesn't make me feel good. I mean, my parents pushed me to do well in school, but just so that I could have more options. They never pushed me to be the top. They never made me focus on just one single solitary thing or anything like that. I never felt like I had to do anything. I just wanted to do well in school or have fun in sports and do all those different things. And I think that's how it should be. I think that's how kids should be treated. But this book was just so crazy about how insane these parents get. And it's just it was good. It was a good book, but I just couldn't it was an unsettling concept to me of how hard these parents push for something their kids may not even want. And it could just do more damage to the children than they would think. This was a very fascinating book. It was really twisty at the end, something I didn't expect, and I thought, you know, it was pretty good. I really liked it. Now the prompts for the Earth Kingdom, and the first one is Toph, a character whose strength surprised you or their strength surprised other characters in the book. And I'm going to give this to The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. The Lovely Bones features Susie Salmon in her way up to heaven after she has been murdered. She is looking over her family and trying to protect them while making the transition into heaven. I did a book versus movie on this, so you can check that out as well. I will also have that video link. But I'm going to give this to the father of Susie Salmon because I know that a lot of people handle grief differently, and I loved his strength of just trying to push and find answers, because he didn't just want to believe, you know, what the police were saying or anything. He wanted to find the truth. He wanted to go out there, and while I don't like what the mother did, I know it was her version of dealing with grief. For the father, it was a lot, it just hit me a lot more, and I saw his strength, and I think a lot of people may have seen what he was doing as a weakness, but I really loved how he was handling grief. Again, it may not have been in the best way either, similar to the mother, how I don't really agree with what she did, but again, this is how people cope differently, how people handle different things, and I just really liked it. I thought he was so strong, and I think Susie saw that as well. After that, we have The Tales of Ba Sing Se, the best short story or poetry collection. Now, I don't read a lot of short story or poetry collections, but I'm going to give it to Good Morning, Good Night by Lin-Manuel Miranda. These are based off of his tweets. This is like a collection of his tweets. He would always tweet a good morning tweet and a good night tweet. He doesn't really do that much anymore, but they are captured within this book, and it's just little affirmations for positivity to get you, you know, through the day, maybe something to wake up to, something to go to night to, and they are also beautifully illustrated by Johnny Sun. Just think that it's just a fun, you know, way to, you know, have something to wake up to in the morning, have something to go to bed to at night. I kept this in my purse with me for a little while after I got it because it was just something that I could always read, and it was really nice. I really did enjoy this. And finally, for the Earth Kingdom, we have The Kyoshi Warriors, a book with the best warrior character, and I'm going to give it to my guy Gray in A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I loved Gray in this book. He is my favorite character. He is definitely a warrior for Prince Ren, and he is his right-hand man, and he is just so, I love Gray. I love Gray so much. A Curse So Dark and Lonely is a Beauty and the Beast retelling where the Prince Ren, who is the Prince of the Kingdom, he changes into a different animal, species, combination thing, and he has to find a girl to fall in love with him, and then the curse will be broken. I can't talk about how much I love Gray. He's definitely my favorite warrior character that I've read in a while. Transitioning over to the Fire Nation, our first prompt is Zuko, book with the best redemption arc or a redemption arc that should have happened. Now this one was a little bit tricky for me, but I'm going to give it to A Trick of Light by Stan Lee and Kate Rosenfeld. This is a superhero origin story where our main character is put in an unfortunate circumstance, but instead of killing him, it actually gives him superpowers. And at the beginning of the book, when he meets this other girl who has similar powers to him, they use their powers in a way that is seen as good, but also gives them a lot of enemies while they are hacking. Essentially, it's a way for them to hack, and I don't want to give too much away because of the redemption arc, but I think using their powers to transition from what they were doing to what they did in the end, I think was really fun to read about. I think it was really good, even though it may not be the best redemption arc that I could think of or the one that comes to mind right away. There's something that sticks out to me about when you have something and then you use it for what you think is good but can also lead to danger, but then figure out how to use that and make yourself stronger and actually do some good. So that's why I'm going to give it to A Trick of Light. Next, we have Iroh, the book with the wisest character. And again, I decided to take this in a little bit of a different direction, so I gave it to Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell for Malcolm Gladwell. This book is Malcolm Gladwell's research into why our conversations with strangers go so poorly. Why is it that we can't really handle a conversation with strangers? I mean, obviously we don't know anything about them, but why does it have to be so bad? And I just love Malcolm Gladwell's books. They're always, you know, completely sold out or they're always on a huge request for the library. I do have a review of this book as well that you can check out in the cards and down below. And I find him to be so brilliant. I love his takes on everything. And I mean, I think he's pretty wise. So that's why I decided to change it up a little bit and give it to Malcolm Gladwell for this prompt. And finally, for the Fire Nation, we have Azula, book with the best downfall. And I'm going to give it to The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. Of course, I don't want to say too much because it will give it away, but it's probably one that you didn't expect to see on this list, which is totally understandable. But after Olive's twin sister and her new husband get sick at their wedding, her sister convinces Olive to take her honeymoon for her. Everything's already paid for, just to pretend to be her on the trip, but she has to go with her worst enemy, which is her sister's new husband's brother. They hate each other, but because they both have the same last name as the two people going on the trip, they can easily disguise themselves for the honeymoon trip. Again, I don't want to say what the downfall is because that's going to be giving it away, but I think you should check it out. You wouldn't think that I'd compare a Christina Lauren book to Azula, so I think you should check it out. And then we have The Air Nomads, and for the first prompt, it is Appa, book with your favorite fictional animal / pet. And I'm going to give this to a recent read and give it to Skyward by Brandon Sanderson for Doomslug, who accompanies Spensa in her little cave. I don't know, I love Doomslug. She doesn't do too much, but I think that she's funny and she's a great partner, and Spensa really does care about her. This is a book about Spensa, whose father has been disgraced from being a fighter pilot after he died in a mission, but it is her goal that she is going to prove everyone wrong because they think that she is a coward as well and she would not be fit to be a fighter pilot, but she is going to change their minds. Next we have Aang, and that is going to be the purest cinnamon roll. And I'm going to give this to For the Right Reasons by Sean Lowe for Sean Lowe. Sean Lowe is my favorite bachelor. He was bachelor number 17, but he first made his appearance on coming in 3rd place in Emily Maynard's Bachelorette season. This is basically his memoir on what went down before he was on The Bachelorette, while he was on The Bachelorette, while he was the Bachelor, and then his life with Catherine afterwards. And I know that, Bachelor franchises, they aren't really successful, but this is actually, I think I read that he was the first Bachelor to pick the winner and get married to the winner and stay married to the winner. They now have 3 kids together, and Sean Lowe, if you want some good dad tweets, I would follow Sean Lowe on Twitter because he is so funny and they just make me laugh, and I think he's I think he's pure. He's a cinnamon roll to me. And finally, the last prompt is Avatar State, a stubborn character or a character that struggles with letting go. And I'm going to give this to First to Die by James Patterson for Lindsay Boxer. Lindsay Boxer is a detective investigator for the San Francisco Police Department, and she gathers this group of women together to form the Women's Murder Club so they can invest these murders, which just happen to be newlyweds across California. I don't really want to say what she has trouble with letting go, but she definitely has some internal struggles that don't really have to do with the investigation. It's just something personally, and she tries to hide that from the people that love her, that care for her, that want to support her, and she just doesn't feel like that's something that needs to be told, and in my opinion, she regrets it in the end. And that was definitely one of the biggest parts that irked me, because I'm just tell them, they want to help you. And I feel like she just does it because she doesn't want to bother anyone with what's going on with her, and even though that's a little bit of a selfish reason, you can't really, blame her for wanting to keep her personal matters to herself, even though it could affect more people than she thinks. Well, that was fun. That was the Avatar: The Last Airbender book tag. I loved putting these two things together. It was a lot of fun trying to compare books to these different characters, to these different prompts, and I absolutely loved it. I think that if you want to do this tag, go right ahead and do it. Don't forget to check out Reads with Kesara, who I have linked below. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, keep on gabbing.